Hello and welcome to Mr. Taofeek's Maths and Economics channel. This channel is created to help you achieve excellence in your maths and economics exams. In this video, we will be going through simplified exam past question solutions for your UTME 2026 Maths. These videos have been created in sections. Today's video is from section question 1 to 10, and subsequently more videos will be released solving question 11 to 20, 21 to 30, down to 100 and even more questions. Before we start, I would like to tell you that each video has been the question in each video has been divided into 5 sections. The 5 major sections of your JAMB Mathematics syllabus, which are the first section, numbers and numeration, the second section, algebra, the third section, geometry and trigonometry, the fourth section, calculus, and the last section, which is statistics. So every video carries questions on every section, essentially preparing you for excellence across all topics so that you will be caught unawares by your exam. Finally, I'd like to mention that to make the best out of these videos, make sure you are actively watching and not passively watching. Now, what is actively watching the videos? That essentially means that when you see a question, you pause the video, you try to do the question, and then you have your answer. If you got an answer, great. Now wait till the end of the video when the question is solved and see if you're right or not. If you're correct, perfect, you can go to the next one. If you're not correct, then since you've watched the video, pause the video and try to do it again and see if you can get it. By doing that, you're essentially training your brain and giving it enough information it needs to perform excellently well in the actual exam. This is more effective and better than passively watching the videos, whereby your brain is not really going through any kind of rigorous learning. That being said, let's get right into this video. Okay, question number 1. This section is numbers and numeration, and the question says a trader bought goats for 4,000 naira each. He sold them for 180,000 naira at a loss of 25%. Then, how many goats did he buy? So, what are the key information here? A trader bought goats for 4,000 naira each. So, this is important. And then he sold them for 180,000. Okay. And then at a loss of 25%. All right. So, this formula is a percentage profit, percentage loss question. So, remember, your percentage profit is equal to your selling price, take away your cost price, divided by your cost price times 100 out of 1, right? And then your percentage loss is equal to cost price, take away the selling price, divided by the cost price times 100 out of 1. So now that we know the formula, now we're dealing with a percentage loss. Let's plug in the numbers. So our percentage loss in this question is 25, and our selling price according to the question is sold them for 180,000. So that is our selling price, 180,000. And finally your cost price, which is what? Now the cost price, we need to be careful here. He bought goats for 4,000 naira each. This is not the total cost price. This is just the cost price of one goat. How many goats did he buy? Let's assume he bought n number of goats. So if he bought n number of goats and one of the goats cost 4,000 naira each, it means the total cost price is going to be the 4,000 naira for one goat times what? Times n, which is the number of goats, and that gives us 4,000 n. So having everything written out like that, now let's plug in our numbers. So percentage loss is 25, which is equal to our cost price, which is going to be 4,000 n, take away the selling price, which is 180,000, divided by the cost price, which is 4,000 n. All right, so this is UTME. You want to be as smart as possible when it comes to your calculations and time management. So here now, since I have three zeros in the numerator and denominator, I can cancel those. So 30 cancel in the numerator must be cancelled across, 30 cancelled in the denominator rather, must be cancelled across the numerator. So we have this and this cancelled, and therefore what is left is just 25 equals to 4n. Take away 180 divided by 4n. So mathematically, we know the next thing is to cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, what do we have? 4n multiplies 25 to give us what? 100n. And then 1 times 4n minus 180 gives us 4n. Take away 180. Right. Okay. What next? We need to find n. Okay, on to question number 3, and now we are on the algebra section. So question number 3 says the time taken to do a piece of work is inversely proportional to the number of men employed. All right. So if it takes 45 men to do a piece of work in 5 days, how long will it take 25 men? Okay, so this is a very straightforward question. So for indirect proportion question like this, that doesn't necessarily require any equations. They didn't tell us that P varies inversely as, okay, let me say the number of men doing the work and piece of. So P is not inversely proportional to, men. So we don't necessarily have to do that. Anytime you have inverse proportions like that, all you have to do is straightforward, just look at the two numbers given, right? So 45 men can do a piece of work in 5 days. So all I have to do is 45 men times 5. So this basically gives me how many days is going to take one man to do the job. And finally, I divide by 25 men, right? So it's going to take, so basically now I need to know how many days it's going to take 25 men to do the same work. So it's very simple, just divide. So 5 here 1, 5 here is 5, and then 5 here 1, 5 in 45 is 9. So the answer is B. Straight to the point. The next one, algebra binary operation. The binary operation is defined on the set of integers P and Q, and is defined by P asterisk Q, such that PQ plus PQ plus P plus Q. So P asterisk Q is defined, has its definition, PQ plus P plus Q. So find this. Well, this is very simple. We have 2 into bracket. So P asterisk Q is just the same thing as 3 asterisk 4. So use the same substitution. So PQ basically means, so this is our P in this case, and this is our Q. So PQ there means what? Means 3 times 4. So I'm just going to use a curly bracket. The first one, I'm going to use a square bracket, and then this is going to be 3 times 4, right? Then plus P, which is 3, and then plus Q, which is 4, and that we have that. So that will be 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 plus 4, and that will be 2 times. So 12 plus 3, 15, 15 plus 4, 19, 19 times 2, and that's 38. So the answer is D. All right, so that's that about that. Now let's go on to the next section. Okay, now we have the geometry and trigonometry section. Okay, the first question here says, if tan Q, I think they meant tan theta. So if tan theta is 4 over 3, calculate sine square theta plus cos squared theta. All right, this is very straightforward. Tan theta is equal to 4 over 3. So now you need to remember your trigonometry. So we're going to draw a triangle like this. Now we have our triangle. Let's label this as our hypotenuse. Let's say this is our theta. So this is going to be our opposite, and this is going to be our adjacent, right? Hypotenuse is always the side facing the right angle. The opposite is the one facing the angle you're given, and the third one is your adjacent, right? So knowing that fact, tan, remember in your soul, car, and toa, tan basically represents what? Tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, right? So the 4 we are giving here is the opposite, so this space is 4, and the 3 we're giving is the adjacent, this space is 3. So our hypotenuse is basically, we need to use our Pythagoras. So remember, hypotenuse squared is equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. That's going to become hypotenuse squared is equal to opposite squared, that will be 4 squared plus 3 squared, which is 16 plus 9. H squared is equal to 25. So H is equal to 5. All right, so if H is equal to 5, so that means this place is 5. So sine square theta plus cos square theta is what? So remember that sine theta, which is so, is basically opposite over hypotenuse. So O over H. And in this case, our opposite is 4 and our hypotenuse is what? Our hypotenuse is 5. And cos theta on the other side is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. How do we know that? From our SOHCAHTOA. So ka means adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 5. Now the question says square, don't forget, right? It says square. So we need to square this and this. So we're going to have 16 over 25 then equal to 9 over 25. All right, so sine squared minus cos squared basically means 16 over, so the sine squared minus cos squared just means 16 over 25, take away 9 over 25. I mean, this is JAMB. The denominators are the same, so 16 minus 9, that gives us what? That gives us 7. So our answer is A, which is what? 7 over 25. So 16 minus 9 over 25, which is 7 over 25, right? So that is our answer. So which is option A. All right, on to the next question. The next question here says find the value of this. So this is a symbol which I think we can just represent with any other letter. Let's call it B. So let's say this is find the value of B. So find the value of B if the line 2y minus bx plus 4 is equal to 0 and is perpendicular. So that line over there is perpendicular. The line there is perpendicular to the line y plus 1 over 4x minus 7. So we have two equations. One is 2y equals to bx, 2y minus bx, 2y minus bx plus 4 to be equal to 0. And then the other one is what? Y plus 1 over 4x minus 7. So they told us these two lines are perpendicular. So we know what that means, right? Perpendicular lines have their gradients to be multiplied together to give you one. So when two lines are perpendicular, their gradients are going to multiply to give you minus 1. So if I have a line, a straight line like this, and then I have another straight line like that. So let me call this line L1 and line L2, and they are perpendicular, meaning they intersect at 90 degrees. The gradient of the first line times the gradient of the second line is going to be negative 1. Or we can just say that the gradient of the first one is equal to 1 minus 1 over the gradient of the second one. So this is the fact about what? About perpendicular lines that you need to know. So that being said, what do we have to do to now find that value? So, and this is equal to 0, I believe. So what do you have to do? We just have to work out B, we need to rearrange these two equations in form of the general form of equation, which is y is equal to mx plus c. This is the general form of equations. So to do that, this is going to become 2y is equal to bx, take away 4, and divide both sides by 2. That means y is going to be, so that gives us y equals to b over 2x minus 2. While for this one, if you rearrange it, y is going to be equal to minus 1 over 4x plus 7. So now remember that if you multiply the gradient of this one, because the gradient is m, remember that. So if you multiply the gradient of the first line and the gradient of the second line, according to our definition, they must give you minus 1. So therefore, the final steps, if we do b over 2 times minus 1 over 4, we should get what? We should get minus 1. So this is going to become minus b over b times minus 1 is minus b, times 4 is 8, which is equal to minus 1. So this is minus 1 over 1, cross multiply. then that means minus b is going to be minus 8. Minus cancel minus on both sides, and b is going to be equal to 8. So the symbol there is basically 8, and that is option D. Okay, now we are on to the calculus section, and this is question number 7. And the question says, if y is equal to x squared minus 1 over x, find the y dx. So this is calculus, this is differentiation. If y is equal to, as you can see in the question, x squared, take away 1 over x, what is the y dx? To find the y dx, you must ensure that if you have any x in the denominator, you apply your knowledge of indices to rewrite it such that s becomes a power of something. So we write y is equal to x to the power of 2, take away x to the power of minus 1, right? So you can rewrite 1 over x as minus 1. Remember, 1 over a is the same thing as a to the power of minus 1. So that being said, then we can find our dy dx. I believe you all know how to do this. So to do your dy dx, you multiply by the power. So 2 is the power here. You multiply x by the power, which is 2, so that's 2x. And then you take away 1 from the power, right? So take away 1 from the power, 2 minus 1. And then the same thing here, the power here is minus 1 times this minus here over here. That will become plus, right? Minus 1 times minus, minus times minus is essentially plus. So this minus 1 in the power, the minus 1 in the power over here would multiply the minus over here. Minus times minus, that is basically plus. So that's plus. And then we take away 1 from the power. So minus 1 originally there in the power, and then another minus 1. So therefore we have 2x. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1. And then that will become what? Plus x to the power of minus 2. And that's about the y dx. So I don't have that format, okay? Then basically we can rewrite it as 2x plus x to the power of minus 2 is the same thing as 1 over x squared, all right? So this is our answer, and that is option. Let's see, what option is that? Okay, so there must have been a mistake. If you look at C and D, they are basically the same. So one of them should be the answer. So let's just assume that this is the plus. So 2x plus 1 over x squared, and the answer is D. All right, the next one, which is again another aspect of calculus, the question says, evaluate integral. This symbol here means integral, which is integration sine 3x dx. So we know that if we differentiate, so a few things to remember, if you differentiate sine x, you will get cos x. If you differentiate cos x, you will get sine x, right? So now integration is essentially the opposite of differentiation. So if you integrate, or if you differentiate cos x, you get minus sine x. Sorry, you get minus sine x. So if you integrate sine x, what would you get? You will get minus cos x plus c. And if you integrate cos x, basically, if you integrate cos x, you basically go back to sine x. So basically, they're just like reverse of each other. So integrating cos x means I'm going to have sine x plus c. But then, if you look at this question, it's not just sine x. It is actually what? Sine 3x. Sine 3x. So there's a constant here. So when you have that, it's very simple. All you have to know that the integral of sine 3x dx is equal to, I know that if I integrate sine 3x, I'm going to get what? I'm going to get minus cos 3x plus c, because I know that integral of sine s is minus cos x plus c. But then you now have to do something. Because this is 3x and not x, it's more or less like a chain rule. We call it the reverse chain rule. So the constant attached to x here, all you have to do is just divide this whole thing by that constant. So the constant here is 3. So divide your cos 3x by that. So cos 3x divided by the constant, which is 3, and we got our answer. So we can rewrite this as minus 1 over 3 cos 3x plus c, and that is the answer to this question. question. So that will be option B, right? Okay, let's move on very quickly into the next one. So the next question, the next section we're heading towards is statistics. So now we're in statistics, which is the last section here. I'm so happy. I hope you're happy too. All right. So the last section, which is statistics. The first question says the mean of six numbers. The mean of a set of six number is 60. If the mean of the first five is 50, find the sixth number. Find the sixth number. So this is basically what problems involve in mean. When we talk about mean, mean is basically sum of all the values divided by the number of values, right? So the question says this the mean of a set of six number is 60. So the mean is 60 and the sum of all the six numbers we don't know, but we know the numbers are six. Cross multiply this so we can get the sum of all the numbers. Sum of all the numbers is 6 times 60, which is what? 360. So all these numbers, the total sum of this six number is 360. And they told us that if the mean of the first five number is 50, find the sixth number. Okay, so the mean of the first five numbers, let's work that out here. So the mean, the same formula, mean of x, I'm going to use mean of x is the same thing as sum of all values divided by n. So we're told that the mean of the first five, which is 50, is equal to sum of all the five numbers divided by five numbers altogether. Cross multiply that, we're going to have sum of these five numbers to be 250. So the question then says, so this is the sum of the first five numbers, and then this is the sum of the what? The six numbers. So the question now says work out the 60 number. So that simply means we're just going to do 360. Take away what? 250. Using a calculator, that's just going to give you 1. So that's 110. And that's a question, option A. Got it. Okay. I hope you got that locked in. As simple as ABC. So like I said earlier, make sure you try the questions yourself first. And if you get them, wait and see what the video says, what the solution says. So if you got it, good luck. That's perfectly good for you. And if you didn't get it, you can take a pause and do it again. I mean, we're learning at the end of the day. That's the point. Learning and improving and getting better so that you can smash this coming UTME. Final question. I can't really wait to do this. And also like meet you in the next video. The last question says the range of the data k plus 2, k minus 3, k plus 4, k minus 2, k minus 5, k plus 3, k minus 1, and k plus 6 is. All right, so we want to find the range. So when we hear the word range, range simply means the highest value. Take away what? The lowest value. So what's going to be the highest value here? K plus the largest number is going to give us the highest value. So k plus 6 is going to be our highest value. So k plus 6 over here is our highest value. K plus 6 is our highest value, as you can see. So I can write that over here. K plus 6, take away the lowest value. And our lowest value is going to be k minus, like the biggest number subtracted from k. So k minus 6 minus 5, excuse me. K minus 5 is going to be the smallest number. But mind you, be very careful. Since we have an expression which is k minus 5 and there's a negative here, make sure you put that in brackets. All right. So we got k plus 6 minus k plus 5. So algebra, you know that k minus k are going to cancel out, right? Then what do we have left? We have plus 6 and then plus 5. So plus 6 and plus 5 simply gives us what? 11. And the answer is D. All right, so this is the end of the first 10 questions. I'm so happy and I hope you've learned quite a lot going through this together. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Also, if you found this interesting and you find it very helpful, you can make sure you share with your friends, subscribe, turn on the notification so that the next video will also be shared with you. I mean, you will be informed once the next video shows up. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, keep revising, and don't forget to aim high and smash that exam. Wishing you the very best. Mr. Taofeek, once again, See you next time. Bye bye.